Hello everyone, hope you're happy and healthy. Welcome to Bradford City, back to the big times, where I tried to take Bradford City AFC back up to the Premier League and maybe even further, hopefully up to the Champions League or some European competition, maybe win a couple of cups along the way. As you can see in the home screen here, there are some things that I've controversially done to get this series started. And the first is the year is 2021, which means that I've actually gone ahead and won League 2 and then won League 1 before I started this series. So we are in 2021. We are joining the championship on the first day of the season. As you can see here from my schedule, I've won all the preseason friendlies. The year before, I won Sky Bet League 1, and the year before that, I won Sky Bet League 2. So back-to-back championships, and hopefully I can now survive in the second tier of English football, which is the Sky Bet Championship. We'll see how this goes. I've got a tiny budget, and right now I'm actually over my payroll, which is not something I typically do, but as you can see from my transfer history, both years I've made quite a large profit on my transfers. The second year, I guess the first and second year, it's tough to make a large profit because I had just been starting out, but I made quite a big profit in this season, and despite that fact, and despite the fact that I won back-to-back titles in the respective leagues below me, I didn't get any support from the board, which is understandable. They're trying to become self-sustainable, which I am fully on board with. That's my belief on how you should run a football club as is. But it's made it a little bit challenging to bring in the players that I need to in order to find success in this very, very competitive second tier of English football. We'll just quickly run down the squad, and then I'll get into my first game, which will be against Middlesbrough at home, which is nice. Let's just quickly run through the squad here. In goal, Jonathan Mitchell. He's 26 years old. Quite a decent player for me. I signed him last season for under 100k. He had a decent performance in Sky Bet League 1, but this will be his first few games in the Sky Bet Championship, which is going to be a bit of a challenge for him, but we'll see how he makes out. At right back, I've brought in Nico Williams on loan. I actually had a decent right back who I've moved on. He's performed quite admirably over the season, Kelvin Meller. He's now 30 years old, though. He had a one year left on his contract, so I sold him for 215k, which I'm quite happy with. And I've replaced him with Nico Williams, who's actually an upgrade at that position. I can't complain about that transfer right there, but we'll see what has to happen in future seasons at right back. I may look at filling that position in the winter transfer window. His replacement or rotation option is a player named Adam Henley, who is probably a substandard rotation option, but we'll see what happens there, how many times I actually have to use him. Probably just in the cup games. My center halves, Adam Sr. This guy has been awesome. He's got great stats all around. He's only 19 years old. Low determination, but that's okay. 36 appearances in the League 1 last season at a 7.14 rating. Tons of great stats. He popped in with a number of goals. Only cost me 195k, so lots of potential to be unlocked here. Hopefully lots of good things to come. My captain, club captain, Paddy O'Connor, Irishman, valued at 1.5 mil. He's come up the ranks with me, 7.17 in his first season in League 2, an impressive 7.35 in League 1 last season. 9 goals, 4 assists, 6 players of the match. This was my star player last season, no question about that. Really excited to see what he can do at this level. Reece Staunton, another Irishman, young guy as well, homegrown player, lots of potential, a couple of good seasons for me. Again, excited to see what he can bring to the table in this season. And Finn Cousin Dawson, another homegrown player. This guy, a decent level of potential, good determination. Didn't quite perform at the level that I needed to last season, but he was just a rotation option, so we'll see what he can do this season. I'm hoping to really not use him too much because he is still quite low rated, especially for this level of football. I've got at left back Connor Wood. Decent little prospect here. I guess he's 25 years old, so he's not so much of a prospect anymore, but Decent stats for what he's laid out to do as a wingback. A couple of reasonable seasons, I would say. And again, we'll see what he does at this level. A big jump up from Sky Bet League 1 to the Championship. Thomas O'Connor is somebody that I just brought in as a wingback. He can play center mid as well, so it's a good rotation option in that position as well. He had a decent season in League 1 2 years in a row, so if he can make the jump, I got him on a free transfer. That'd be really nice for me. In central midfield, I've loaned in James Garner from Manchester United. Very good overall stats for a deep lying playmaker. He doesn't have a ton of appearances anywhere, but a couple of Premier League appearances. Some good overall match ratings in the under 23s I'm assuming that he played in last season, so hopefully that translates to good performances in the Championship this season. I've also got a rotation option, Jermaine Anderson. I tried selling him in the window so that I could bring in a better rotation option, but he's serviceable. He'll probably play a handful of games. Elliot Goldthorpe, this guy is my main man in midfield, or he has been throughout the seasons that I've had him. Again, homegrown at the club. He's developed quite nicely, high determination. Actually, this was at 17 at one point. It's fallen down twice to 15. Not the end of the world, but obviously the higher the determination, typically the higher the result of the player. But a great season last year. 5 goals, 11 assists, 5 player of the matches, 7.44 average rating in the league. Very happy with that. I don't anticipate it'll be anywhere near that in the Championship, but hopefully just as long as he's reasonably consistent, he should be fine. Jake Reeves, another good midfield option. He's more of my box-to-box midfielder, and I've got him signed for another 2 seasons, which is great, valued at $600K, and really good last season, fairly good the year before, and he came back from injury. So 4 goals, 11 assists, 7.33 league average rating. So again, very, very useful. And then my rotation option is another homegrown, Kian Scales. And let's go down to my wingers. Yasser Louisi. He's a Frenchman, valued at 1.2 mil. So I signed this man for 275, and he performed very well in League 1. 14 goals, 6 assists. So excellent performances. And we'll see how he does in the Championship this season. Big step up for him. We'll see what he can bring to the table. Barry McKay, I just brought this guy in. 26 years old, Scottish, and he is decent all around. A lot of stats at about 14-13, and hopefully that translates to good performances. I got him for 38K. His wages are a little bit high, but with consistent match appearances, let's see if he can provide some value for me. Michael Olise, or Olise, he's French, so I'm assuming it's probably Olise. I'm bringing him in as a rotation option at Shadow Striker. He might turn into my first choice at that position. We'll see what he can do. He's on loan from Newcastle. I also have Shane McCartan, also a Shadow Striker. This will be probably my first choice. He had a decent season last year. The year before he was actually quite disappointing, so we'll see what kind of year he brings. If it's not good, then I'm going to go with Olise. If it's going well, then I'll keep running with him, because obviously I'd prefer to use a player that is actually at the club rather than one that's loaned in. And then for my strikers, I have Tyler Walker, who I brought in for fairly cheap, 225K. 3 goals, 1 assist in 13 games, and those were all starts. So very underwhelming start to his career at Bradford City. The stats are all around okay. They might not be the greatest for this level, the Championship, but I would have actually hoped with 13 finishing, 13 off the ball, 12 technique, decent anticipation, decisions. He's got decent pace. I thought that he'd be a lot more effective in League 1, but he wasn't, so that's a little bit worrying. And I've also brought in Craig Whiten on a free transfer. He's just a rotation option if I need him, emergency backup. My main man this season will be Leonardo Campagna from Ecuador. He's on loan from Wolves. He's quite, like, almost 15 mil value, which is great. His overall stats, terrific. Look at this physical. Very, very impressive. Good heading, good finishing. We'll see what happens with him this season. I'm paying not too much for him, all things considered. I think I'm paying $10,000 a week on his wages. We'll see if he can bring it at this level of football. The tactics that I'm using, quite simple. I've got 3. One's a 4-4-2, one's a 4-2-3-1, and the other one is also basically a 2-4-3-1. I don't know really what you would describe this with the wing backs being pushed up, but I don't use this one too frequently. This one with the shadow striker has been quite effective moving up the leagues. It especially works well because I have wingers typically deployed. I found throughout the history of Football Manager 2020 that the inside forward has been quite effective, but in this save, maybe it's because it's a lower league save, the wingers have been really effective. So I'll be running with the wingers for the first game against Middlesbrough at home, and this will be the formation that in all likelihood I'll be using throughout the majority of the season. A few more things that we want to just quickly look at. The player payroll. As you can see, we're right near the bottom. Oxford also came up with me last season, so they're of course right near the bottom, but I am way below even the next tier of teams. So it's a little bit worrying, especially when you look up and down the roster and you see how my players are in terms of their statistical attributes when you compare it to some of the higher teams in this division. Southampton as one example, even Middlesbrough, who I'm playing tomorrow. But you also look at Huddersfield, Watford, Leeds, Stoke. These are big teams for this division, and it will be a serious challenge to stay up. But that's the goal, stay up this season, maybe for 2, and then push to the Premier League. I don't want to bounce right back down from the Premier League. Easier said than done, of course. In this game against Middlesbrough, unfortunately, I'm using my rotation goalkeeper because Jonathan Mitchell has a little bit of an injury. So we'll see how he performs. I don't expect to win this game as a result of this. He's had a couple of games last season that he really didn't perform that well in the Cup. And, well, we'll see. Other than that, it's a pretty standard lineup. Can't wait to get started in the first game of the season. We got to assign some numbers here. Nico Williams, number 2. We'll go for 15 for Garner, and then my main striker. I'm going to go a little bit out there. Give him number 99. Leonardo Campagna. Alright, so very strong Middlesbrough side. We're playing at home though. Let's give the fans something to cheer about today and get right into this match. First highlight of the game is a free kick starting in the backfield. I do put a lot of emphasis on my set pieces. That's something that I really focus on. Campagna, first goal of the season on the left foot, cuts inside from the right, and a powerful finish into the bottom left corner. Garner with the ball, my new loan signing. The 2 loan signings combining. It was a great move from Campagna, and look at the full house at Valley Parade on their feet, excited for the new season already. What a finish. As I said, I put a lot of emphasis on set pieces. I have a couple of good set piece takers, as there was a mistake there from our left back. Brown came in and puts it into the side netting. That was a silly mistake there. Nico Williams, his first game for the club, to Wood, who crossed it in, but it was offside. Campagna was offside there in the middle of the field. So we'll see how things go this season. I'm not exactly optimistic about any top half performance, but we'll see. You never know. A win against Middlesbrough at home would go a long way. My second choice goalkeeper is playing, so look at this long ball, and a second goal already. Assist from my center half, Paddy O'Connor. Leonardo Campagna, back of the net with the left foot. Bang. Look at this long ball over the top. Beats his man, all ends up. Gets to 12 yards, and another powerful finish. I'm so excited for what this guy will bring to the team this season. He has unbelievable stats, and I've never had a good striker, really, in the save. Last season I had Ben Woodburn, but he was a shadow striker. I didn't really play him as the forward too often, and now that I've got a true forward in Campania, it'll be, wow, that was almost a hat trick. It will be a super exciting time for the club now that we've got a striker that can score. Here he is again, taking on his man, right-footed this time, and it's a great save from Pears. Outside the box, right-footed this time. Another powerful strike. Here he is again, blocked. Olise, McKay, Campania, cleared from the box. He's going to be so excited. I can't wait to see what he brings to the table this season. Okay, halftime, 2-0 to Bradford City at home. It's been a great start. I'm going to say don't get complacent because, you never know. Things can turn around quickly. Much more to come. Start the second half. Pears, the Middlesbrough keeper. A long ball up to Tavernier, who's skipped past 2 men and hit the side netting. Some questionable defending there from my boys, but they make it through okay. The average rating's going up from my defenders. Long throw here from Wood, perhaps. Nope, just an easy one to Goldthorpe. Wood into the box. Campania, another great opportunity. Hits the side of the post, and the ball dribbles wide. 60 minutes in, I'm thinking about making some substitutions. Olise, not had the best debut, but first game at his new club. Here's a corner, whipped into the box. McKay, new signing as well. Garner goes back to the goalkeeper, Sykes Kennyworth, who puts a long ball up to Wood. Passes to the side, Senior now spreads it to Wood on the left-hand side. His cross is blocked. It's a beautiful ball in, but it's offside from Barry McKay. Goldthorpe, this is what he does. He gets the ball so deep, and his passing is terrific. He found Barry McKay, which would have been his first goal for the club. Unfortunately, he was offside. So 70 minutes in, let's see if we can make a second substitution. And I'm going to bring in Reeves for Garner, who's had a great debut for the club. But we'll put in Reeves, who is a terrific rotation option. Or he had been my first choice for the last couple of seasons. But in this season will likely be a rotation option as I've brought in Garner. Here's a free kick and a goal from McNair. He found the ball near the penalty spot and headed it in. I think the goalkeeper needs to do better there, but as I said, that's one worrying part of my game today. If I can get a home win, I'd be very pleased. Reeves with the ball into the box. It's cleared, not well, and Yasser Larousse from the edge of the box, left foot, bang, back of the net. 3-1 for Bradford City, and it looks like we're going to win this game. Some poor clearance from Middlesbrough, and top corner, pick that one out. Yasser Larousse, the Frenchman, 3-1 Bradford City. Looks like we're going to win our first game at home. Here's another highlight. McKay cuts into the middle of the field, passes it out wide to Larousse, to Wood, into the box. Goldthorpe, and it's Shea McCartan who puts the ball in, slots it nicely past the Middlesbrough keeper, and it's 4-1 to Bradford City, if you can believe this. Larousse put it out to the left-hand side where it was crossed in, took a little deflection, looks like. Shea McCartan, first goal of the season, super sub, and let's get another debut and put Thomas O'Connor out there on the field and see what we can do for the last 5 minutes of the game. Get the new men into the pitch, see how they perform, get them used to it, as Goldthorpe looks like he's picked up a little niggling injury, and hopefully we can close out this game with no more goals conceded. Ooh, a nice shot from Brown, but wide of the net, and that should be that, unless there's one more chance. I don't believe there will be. Bradford City 4, Middlesbrough 1, first game of the season in the championship, and Bradford City have taken all 3 points. And who knows? Maybe the season won't be such a slog after all. I say that now. We'll see what happens in the next few games, but very exciting start to the season. Guys, I'm so excited to get this going forward and see what you guys have to say as far as who I should possibly bring in. And this man, what you think of Leonardo Campagna? Superb in front of goal. Keep it up, man. Can't wait. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop it a like. If you want to see Bradford City make it back to the big time, subscribe to Millennial Gaming. Can't wait to have you along for the journey. And until next time, take care.